Coming up on this episode of Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover.
I'm not watching games. I'm not doing this anymore. I've struggled through the old quarterbacks, the recycled, rethreaded quarterbacks. Can't do it anymore. Here we are at 8-2.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us here at Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover for our NFL Week 12 preview. Another jam-packed slate. We've got a fantastic guest, some great games to preview, and of course, all of our best bets to share with you. I am, of course, joined by my two wonderful co-hosts, as per usual. Byron, portraying a very northern boy, if you're watching on YouTube, and Joe. Gentlemen, how are you both doing today?
I'm still under the weather, but fighting through it for the preview. Didn't want to miss 2 in a week. You know, I might end up getting replaced. Charlie might get a permanent spot as a host. So, yeah, fighting through today. But, look forward to a big weekend of football.
Yeah, we appreciate you fighting through the flu, your Michael Jordan flu game. Doing it for the people. Got to give the winners. Got to give the winners to the people. So, can't do that if you're sick. Excellent. Joe, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good. You know, as a fellow Northerner, I'm loving Byron's hat. So, yeah, obviously everyone check out the YouTube video and, give it a look. But yeah, it's another fun one. Some interesting games. I don't think it's as jam-packed as last weekend, but there's certainly some interesting ones which I think which will make a big effect to the playoffs going forward. But a fun week, not as fun as last week, but we can't have it every week. All guns blazing.
No, we can't, but we're still in for a cracker. So we're going to go to our guest first up, because our guest is for helping us preview our early game, not the Sky Sports early game this week, the Channel 5 early game, because for some reason Sky have chosen to be in Chicago to cover Steelers Bears, but we think there's a much better game. It's on Channel 5, and we've got a great guest to help us preview it. We've got Justin Bauerle joining us. He is the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Fantasy Now Plus, and also a big Indianapolis Colts fan. So let's get over to Justin. He's going to help us preview Colts Chiefs and also take on our 4-4 challenge.
First up for our Week 12 preview, we've got a fantastic guest joining us to talk about what I think is certainly the game of the week. We've got returning guests, Justin Bauerle from Fantasy Now Plus. Justin, welcome back to the show. It's been a while. How are you doing?
It's been a little while since I last been on the show. I think when I got back into recording live shows and talking about fantasy football, this might have been like one of the first 4 or 5 weeks, 2 years ago, I think, last time I was on the show. So it's been quite a while. I'm glad to be back.
It's great to have you back. Last time we saw you, we jumped on your 24-hour stream, right? Wasn't it? Back in the summer.
Yeah, that was.
You were a moment where you were coming up to the end, and powered through it. It was an unbelievable effort.
Yeah, you got me on the back half of that show, that stream. You got me right around the time where I was just right. I think it was a little 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I think you guys were on. You guys were on early, at least for me. So for you, I guess it was normal time of the day. But yeah. I was a journey.
Yeah, but fantastic way to raise obviously some fantastic money for great causes. I think we did a redraft of 2021 or something. I think is what we did. Yeah, which again for you to navigate through that at that point was wild.
It was. It's all coming back to me. Yeah, it was definitely a redraft. It was quite interesting to go through that, because I think I picked it up after maybe the 5th pick, because I was just hold on, I'm really tired. What's going on here?
But excellent job. And I suppose give us that's one of the things, but you've got so much going on. We were just talking before we started about kind of just the output that's going on at Fantasy Now Plus at the minute. I suppose, do you want to give us a shout out in terms of where we can find everything, and what have you guys got going on at the minute? Because it's such a range of great content you guys are pumping out at the minute.
Yeah, so you can find all of our content at fantasynowplus.com. That's our website where we put out DFS articles, waiver wire articles, any articles that we can really think of in the time of. You get a lot of people and you get cranky, and then you're all of a sudden that article I was doing, I don't got time for that because we got all this other stuff. And it truly is. We have all this other stuff. We put out so much video content every week. I think we were just talking about, Fantasy Now Plus has 7 weekly live shows. So we have one on Monday that recaps everything that happened the week before, plus to look at Monday Night Football. We have a Tuesday waiver wire show, a Wednesday start sit show, which is like our flagship show of the week. And that's at noon. Then at 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, we have our rankings show. Thursdays, we have a DFS show. Saturday, we have a dynasty show. We take Friday off. We had a show on Friday. It didn't keep going, unfortunately. Saturday is our dynasty show. And then Sunday is our another start sit like advice show / I'm in my kitchen and we cook food for the game. So it's a lot of content, a lot of work. Thankfully, it's not just me and Josh anymore. It was just me and Josh for the longest time. And I was doing a count earlier, actually. We are up to, okay, I can't count that quickly anymore. I think like 14, 15 staff now on the team. So between, people doing writing, DFS content with Underdog Fantasy, live shows, administration work, there's quite a bit going on, and there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen now. I could not be more thankful for everybody that we have there, though.
Yes,
honestly, there's no way I'm doing 7 shows a week.
Yeah, that is a lot of shows. We struggle just doing 2, but yeah, awesome work. Just saying again, go to Fantasy Now Plus, fantasynowplus.com. Go to follow the YouTube as well. Make sure you're subscribed on the YouTube at Fantasy Now Plus, and you'll get all the shows. Go check out all the articles. These guys will help you win your fantasy championships. It's getting to crunch time. How are you going, Justin? We're in week 12. How are you? How's your fantasy season going?
This is where you separate the men from the boys. The start of the season, I was like, oh, some of these teams are not doing so great. And some of them are like, you just set the lineup and you forget about it because they're good. But I did have some teams where it was like, this is a little touchy. And now I'm looking at my rosters, and finally, it took 12 weeks for people to trade with me. I'm just going to say that. It took 12 weeks for people to finally make trades. And I had to go to the teams that are like, you're out. Like, give me some of your players type stuff. But it's turning around. Again, the last 3 weeks of the season before the playoffs are the most important weeks because you can go from being in 11th place to being in 6th place very quickly. And you make the playoffs, and that's all you have to do is you got to get the right players at the right time, and you can make a run. I won a championship as a 6th seed last year. I snuck in by 2 points, 2 total points. Snuck in, won the championship. So
you got to be in the dance, right? You've got to be in the dance.
You got to be in the dance. And last year I had great success. I won 50% of my leagues. This year, not looking at 50%, but you never know. It's a week-to-week game.
Yeah, excellent. Like I say, it's crunch time, as you mentioned. So, yeah, if you need some tips, you need a bit of advice, Fantasy Now Plus.
You can hit us up in our Discord and ask us questions at all hours of the day. We're there to answer. So we got, again, 14-ish staff that likes to answer questions now. So great.
Get involved, yeah, for sure. And you will get some assistance in winning your championships. Don't tell the rest of the people in your league, though.
No. Don't. I mean, you can, but we'll give them the bad advice. We'll give you the good advice.
Exactly. Good stuff. Justin, it's a pleasure to have you back. And we are 12 weeks into the season, so this is our week 12 preview. I didn't think we were going to be 12 weeks in talking about the Colts in kind of the position that we're in. And I'm guessing you didn't either. No. How has it been so far? Kind of like say we're 12 weeks in, the Colts are 8-2 and are flying.
I will say 13 weeks ago, I questioned the organization as a whole. When they said Daniel Jones will be the starter this season, and not looking back, I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I don't know. I'm not watching games. I'm not doing this anymore. I've struggled through the old quarterbacks, the recycled, rethreaded quarterbacks. Can't do it anymore. Here we are at 8-2. Or not, 8-2. Not even looking back. And I'm just did not expect this. Many know I live in Indy, so I follow the Colts. I've followed the Colts my entire life, but as long as I've been watching football, I've always been a Cincinnati Bengals fan. So heading into the season, I was like, I have all the expectations for the Bengals. You know, you got you got Chase signed, we got Burrow signed, we've got all the people signed, except for Trey Hendrickson at the time. All the expectations. Zero expectation for the Colts. And I like so bad that like I just watch, you know, the national broadcast games, the regional games. I don't pay for like Sunday ticket. I was like, maybe I'll get Sunday ticket and watch the Bengals games this year. Glad I didn't, because that was a waste. That would have been a waste of money. And my expectations have completely flipped. I have all the expectations for the Colts and none for the Bengals.
Yeah, and like I say, that moment, I suppose, where they sort of made the decision that we're going to go ahead with Daniel Jones, and we spent a lot of the after the off season in the build up going kind of, you know, we feel this is a competition. We felt Danny Dimes could beat out Andy Richardson, and he did, and we felt that gave the Colts more stability at the position, which is crazy when you know what Daniel Jones has been like in New York. But we felt it gave them a bit more base level of competency in that. He's been so much more. What are the things you've been most impressed about in terms of Daniel Jones so far, Justin?
I think it's just, you know, protecting the ball more. Richardson put himself in a lot of bad positions, and Daniel Jones doesn't just like shy away from the hit. He will take the contact. And I think that's what has made Daniel Jones so good over the years. I mean, we think about that one season where he was QB6 on QB9 and back in 2022. And he ran for 708 yards that season. He was a physical quarterback. And it was like, you know, Daniel Jones is just a different version of Anthony Richardson, but he can actually be accurate. And that's the thing. I love Anthony Richardson. I had all the faith in him. I wanted him to start. I wanted him to be the quarterback. I had no faith in Daniel Jones, but I mean, we're looking at a quarterback. If you remove that Pittsburgh game, has thrown 4 interceptions this season. So 7 total, and only 15 for 7, which isn't like, oh my God, this is great. But he's got 20 total touchdowns this season. He's able to spread the ball around. Michael Pittman's more effective. Alec Pierce is way better. Josh Downs, not as much. Tyler Warren's there now. Like, the offense is jiving. And the best part about this is I think a lot of this is because Jonathan Taylor has been so good. And Jonathan Taylor has been so good because the quarterback has been really good too. So defenses have to respect both sides of the game. It's not just stop the run, you stop the Colts. Now it's crap, you stop the run, I also have to stop the pass. So I think a lot of teams just weren't expecting that this year.
Yeah, been unbelievably well balanced, as you mentioned there. And Jonathan Taylor, I think, you know, again, we're going to be discussing him for some of the end of season awards as well because of the tear he's been on. You know, he seems to be almost every other week he's scoring 3 touchdowns a game. He's been just kind of phenomenal offensive output. On the flip side as well, the defense has been pretty mean as well. Like I say, there's been rare instances where the defense has given up, you know, tons of points. Because I didn't see this coming together in terms of both sides of the ball. I suppose, how much credit does the head coach Steichen, you know, deserve in terms of putting this all together? Because I think maybe he was a hot seat candidate going into this year if it, you know, was a disaster.
Yeah. In fact, 13 weeks ago, I was like, you know, maybe this is it. Start Daniel Jones, tank the season, fire the entire front office, get rid of Chris Ballard finally, get rid of Shane Steichen, get rid of all of them, reset. Maybe it was always just Anthony Richardson. Maybe he was the problem with the offense. And, you know, maybe it was, you know, Daniel Jones going to Minnesota and learning behind Kevin O'Connell for a little bit. I don't know, but it seems to work. I think this season has completely saved Shane Steichen his job at least for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly with the trade we saw on the trade deadline day a couple of weeks ago, that is definitely the sign that they're all in with Daniel Jones. They think that they can go get it this year and the next couple going without kind of the first round picks. What did you make of kind of that move for Sauce Gardner, and how do you feel he's going to kind of complement the rest of the defense?
I was in the middle of a waiver wire show during that time, and it was coming to the end. And all my messages were going, oh my God. I saw the news. and I couldn't focus. Like, I was done. I was like, I'm sorry, I have to end the show. I cannot focus on this show anymore. The Colts just won the Super Bowl. No, so getting Sauce Gardner is a huge move. Obviously, we've only seen him play one game, and okay, he tripped on a 2-point conversion, but effectively shut down Drake London for the most part. 2 receptions allowed the entire game when the two of them were competing, and Drake London, a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL this year. I think that's fantastic. So now that he has that bye week, he's been able to be with the team. He's almost been with the team for almost a month now, 3 weeks. He's played 1 game. So now add him. Moody Ward is coming back. Kenny Moore has been a great nickel corner. The safeties with Cam Bynum and Nick Cross back there. That secondary went from one of the worst to one of the best in literally a season.
And that's, again, just a testament to kind of, again, coaching the moves that they've made to turn things around, free agency, and in being aggressive at the trade deadline. You know, if you're obviously a fan of a team and your team, you think you're in a position where this can be our year. You want them to put all the chips in and go for it, because these situations don't come around very often. And we've seen kind of the Colts. It's been nearly 10 years since they won the division, which I think we can cross that off as being done almost, not to get, to carry, but I think they're there now. Yeah, it'd be a crazy turn of events if they didn't. And then, get someone in like Sauce in the playoffs when you need to try and shut down a number one. You've got somebody who can go do it. So very, very exciting times.
I don't want to crown them division champs yet. The Jaguars are only 2 games back. The Colts and Jaguars also have to play twice more. And the Colts haven't won in Jacksonville since like 2013. So I'm expecting a split there. And then the Colts also have to play down the road. I was just looking at their schedule. Okay, they still have, the Chiefs this week, obviously. They still have the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Jaguars in Jacksonville. So there's still some tough matchups. Jacksonville's schedule down the road. We're looking at the Broncos and the Colts. That's it. So it could get very close with Jacksonville and Indianapolis. I hope, the Colts can just take care of business. I think this is the benchmark right here that we're going to talk about this game here, but this is the benchmark for the Colts. The Chargers was the benchmark, and then the goalpost moved, and then the goalpost moved again. So it's like, okay, if the Chiefs aren't the benchmark, then who is the benchmark?
Yeah.
And they've beaten the 9-2 Broncos. They've beaten the Chargers, not even just beaten them. Like they handled the Chargers. They were in that Steelers game all game. They were in the Rams game. Two Adonai Mitchell mistakes away from beating the Rams there. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a great game this week, and we'll get into it in a second. I just want a quick word on the the hanging thing around the Colts in the build to the season. Sadly, the owner Jim Irsay sadly passed away, and obviously it's his daughters that are now sort of leading the way. I just thought a quick word on kind of the job you feel that they're doing. They seem to have just stepped in and just been fantastic leaders for the Colts through very difficult circumstances. Yeah,
definitely difficult circumstances. This season has been completely dedicated to Jim Irsay. You'll see it on the patch on their uniforms. Every game a player brings in a guitar for Jim, which is just knocked over something on my desk. So it's definitely dedicated to Jim Irsay. The best part about the 3 of them taking over is that the 3 of them are taking over in positions that they've already been in for like 10 years. So this isn't the first year Carly Irsay has been on the sidelines. She's been on the sidelines for several seasons, taking notes and wearing a headset. This is the first year it's been really heavily publicized because she is now basically the owner of the Indianapolis Colts. You have the other 2 that do great work within the community, within marketing and everything like that. So like, I think they have been doing a great job. I'm very, very happy with the work that they have been doing. And then, with Carly just saying, do you want to fix it with a Band-Aid or do you want to like fix it permanently with the Sauce Gardner trade? And they're like, wait, we can do that? Like, okay, let's do it. So that was great. It was a great sign. They don't step in. They're not like, oh, we're telling them everything to do. They're not the Jerry Jones. They're they're letting the people do their jobs, but they're also like, taking notes. Like, are you doing your job? So it's holding everybody accountable is great.
That's what every ownership group should be doing. Sadly, it doesn't work like that across the other 31 teams in the NFL. Let's get into the game this week then. You've sort of mentioned it already and talked about it's the Colts at the Chiefs on the road in Arrowhead. It's the Channel 5 early game. We normally don't. Weirdly, we have a main NFL broadcaster that usually just picks the best game in that early window to show. And for some reason, they didn't pick the Colts and Chiefs this week. I have no idea why. I think it's because they're out in Chicago for Pittsburgh Bears, and that's the game that they've chosen. But anyway, the secondary broadcaster is showing it. Channel 5 early game. It's the Colts, 3.5-point underdogs at the Kansas City Chiefs. Over-unders 50.5. The Colts charge into KC as AFC heavyweights in what feels like a Freaky Friday switch. Indy are riding high and the Chiefs are clinging on to their playoff hopes. Can Dimes and JT land a critical blow? I have no idea why the Colts are underdogs in this game, Justin. Do you?
I keep looking at 3.5. Like 3.5? What? Like, I'm sorry. Let's go back to their two losses, 27-20. Okay. Against the Rams and Steelers. So they lose games by 7, but when they win, they win big. And they're the only team that has scored 20+ points in every single game.
Yeah,
no other team has done that. And also, it looks like they might have updated the coverage. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo's covering this game now.
So it is the game. It is the game of the slate.
The 1 o'clock. Usually, Jim Nantz and Tony Romo only cover the 4:25 game now, but there is no late game, or there are late games on CBS.
The
Interesting.
Eagles, Cowboys, maybe, but that doesn't have the same.
Yeah, that's Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady. So it's getting Jim Nantz and Tony Romo means this is a huge game, but they also always cover the Chiefs games. So
yeah, it's a combination of that. Is there a more dangerous opponent in the NFL than a wounded Kansas City Chiefs?
Man, that's the tough part. Is I don't want to call this a Colts win by far. I mean, they're playing in Kansas City. And I think that has a lot to do with it. It's the Chiefs. It's the team that should be there. They should be winning these games, and they're just not. So I don't want to immediately go 8-2 Colts going to beat the 5-5 Chiefs. The 5-5 is one thing, but we got to remember it's the Chiefs. It's not going to be just an easy matchup. The teams they've lost to: Broncos, Bills, Jaguars, Eagles, Chargers. Those are 5 very good teams. So like I said, this is a benchmark game for the Colts. If they can win, then they are obviously one of the better teams. But
I think certainly kind of the rest of the AFC have certainly got to be rooting for the Colts here, because it feels like the Chiefs don't have many more slip-ups left before it becomes very difficult for them to even make the playoffs, given tiebreakers they're on the wrong end of already. That Jags one is hanging over them. And
I've had friends that are Broncos fans, friends that are Bills fans, friends that are Chargers fans, all going rooting for the Colts this week. Like, bury them. Like, they're down. Bury them now, because if you don't bury them, I mean, they have a short week against they have to go to Dallas. The Chiefs do. So it's if the Colts can bury the Chiefs right now, I think they're probably going to be out of the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think, and they have had a very tough schedule, but to think that they're staring at 6 and possibly more losses in the face. Is there anything that scares you about the Chiefs kind of looking in? And that might be a bit of a stupid question because of obviously who they've got, but is there anything when you're looking at kind of how the Colts are rolling and how the Chiefs are really struggling? And they're really struggling in these close games as well. They're 0-5 in one-score games, I think, when we're used to seeing them find ways to win those games. Is there anything where you're looking at the Chiefs that really, really scares you from a Colts perspective?
You look at their wins, and their wins aren't. Like you mentioned, they lose the close ones. They obviously win the blowouts: 22-9, 37-20, 30-17, 31-0, 28-7. So you get up to the upper 20s, not looking good. So they just got to keep them out of the end zone. I'm a little bit worried about Travis Kelce. The linebacker core, I think, is now the weakest part of the defense. So I'm a little bit worried about Travis Kelce actually getting into that open front in front of the safeties behind the linebackers. That's going to be a dangerous part of the field. But with Cam Bynum and Nick Cross, I'm a little less concerned about that, especially since now they don't have to, double cover the ends because you have Ward and Gardner out there. But I think Travis Kelce is going to be the game breaker for the X factor for the Chiefs offense. I'm not so much worried about the defense. I think the offense will be fine for the Colts. I mean, they went like 5 games without kicking punting the ball. They have one of the most efficient offenses in NFL history, only behind like the 2007 Patriots, who went undefeated. So I'll take that, I guess. So I'm worried about Travis Kelce, and if they can get up into the upper 20s, then I start getting a little bit concerned about points. But I think if the Colts can keep this game close, I think the Colts win it.
I say it feels like last week Mahomes sort of started leaning on Kelce more. I think he had 13 targets last week against the Broncos. And I wonder if it's just now where it is coming to this absolute crunch time for them and they don't really have room to go, that's just kind of what we're going to see. We're just going to go to old reliable. Just, I know Kelce isn't the same as he maybe was a couple of years ago, but he showed some wheels last week against the Broncos when he scored that touchdown. Kind of had a burst out of somewhere, but it feels like maybe he's just going to go back to that old reliable and we're just going to pepper Kelce with targets and have that carry the offense. From a Colts perspective, I suppose the bits then on the flip side where you're going, these are areas where we can really hurt the Chiefs, given what you've seen of them.
Everything.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what's right?
Yeah, Worthy was a wide receiver for a little bit. Since Rashee Rice has been back, Xavier Worthy has been absolutely nothing on that offense. Same with Hollywood Brown. So now the Chiefs offense is literally looking at what Rice and Kelce. That's about their offense. Pacheco's still injured. So what are we looking at? Kareem Hunt at this point. DeForest Buckner being out on IR, that does hurt the defensive line, but the defensive line has been pretty good. And honestly, the defensive line has like 4 business days now to get a sack. So it's with the secondary. So I'm honestly less concerned about the defense now. I'm more concerned that the Chiefs defense can hold down the Colts offense. But the thing about the Colts offense this year now is that Jonathan Taylor can get going, and if he gets going, you lost the game. Like he could score 1 touchdown or no touchdowns, or he could score 3 touchdowns. Like if you let Jonathan Taylor go, game's gone. So I think the Chiefs really need to look out for that part.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like you say, it just seems to be the key, doesn't it, in terms of trying to relatively because he's been on such a tear, but keep Jonathan Taylor relatively contained. Because like the Falcons did an okay job of it in Germany for 53 minutes of the game. And then that was all of a sudden in the last 7 or 8 minutes of overtime, he ran 150 yards. Yeah, it was just like, yeah. So you've got to do it for the full 60. You can't do it for 50.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's 4 yards here, 4 yards here, 4 yards here, 85 yards, 4 yards here, 40 yards here, 25 yards. It's the thing about this Colts offense is that they're patient. Daniel Jones is patient getting the ball out, and if he can't find it, he'll run it, which is dangerous because he protects his body, he gets out of bounds. And Jonathan Taylor will sit there behind his line and go, okay, where am I going? Where am I going? No, okay, fall. Okay, where am I going? There's the hole, and then just take off. And you once he gets past that last linebacker,
gone. Yeah,
gone.
No hope. Excellent. So give us a quick score prediction for the game before we move on to our fourfold.
I said Chiefs can't get up to 20 upper 20s or they'll win. So I'm going to go 31-24.
31-24. Excellent. That'll be the over. Colts, obviously, Colts winning as road underdogs, and the over.
Oh, the
And a
over
dagger.
under. I didn't even look at the over under. What was
50? Yeah,
31 plus
50 and a half.
24? Yeah, that's 31, right? No,
Yeah,
51, right? Oh,
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah,
There you go.
I didn't even think about that part.
Excellent. So, yeah, again, like I said, I don't know, as we mentioned at the start, I don't know why Colts are underdogs. And usually when there's something fishy like this, when Vegas does something like this with the odds, where it makes no sense, they're trying to trap me. That's what I always think. They're trying to trap me. They want me to bet the Colts. They're trying to trap me. So I might just go with a total and go with your over for this one, Justin, I think.
What color are the pinstripes this week? Are they black this week, or are they red, or are they blue? Like, what color are we looking at?
We'll find out, right? And it feels like
Yeah.
maybe that's some of the stuff that the Chiefs are going to need to go their way again to make sure they get into the playoffs. Hopefully not. Hopefully we don't have a game ruined by a dumb ref call. We've had plenty of them over the years, and even some this season as well. But yeah,
especially yeah.
Let's see. Excellent. I want to ask you. I meant to ask you this at the start as well, because with the Colts, Pacers made a run to the NBA Finals, nearly won it all. I'm not sure. I don't think who's your fan? Is it Purdue?
I'm a Butler fan, a Butler basketball fan. The football team is nothing. When it comes to football, I rooted for Notre Dame just because I grew up in a Purdue / IU family. So it was like pick one or the other. It was like Notre Dame, I guess. I root for all the Indiana teams. That's the thing. Like I don't have like I'm a diehard Purdue fan. I'm a diehard IU fan. So I'm happy that IU is number 2. I hope they keep doing well.
Well, what's going on? There's something in the water in Indiana at the minute, because the Colts are flying. The Pacers we almost won it all. Indiana under Kirk Cincinnati in the college ball are again flying and a real national championship contender. Yeah, well, it's just been like a great 12 months or so for Indiana sports in general.
It's been a great 2025. I will say that for Indiana sports. But it was a miserable 10 years.
Yeah.
The Pacers are one Achilles injury away from winning the NBA Finals. Now they're 1-12, so that sucks. The Colts are now doing good. There has always been a saying, the Colts and Pacers both can't be good at the exact same time. So
it's one or the other.
Achilles turned into Daniel Jones being Jonathan Taylor being an MVP candidate. So it's like, which one are we going to take? And now IU is very good because of Cignetti. So that's also great. So it's just a lot of good things happening. Even Notre Dame's top 10 in the country right now. So, I mean, Indiana might have 2 college football playoff teams. Again, they had 2 last year as well. So they just so happened to put them against each other, Notre Dame versus IU.
Yeah. Don't think there's much chance of that falling, although the committee seems. Yeah.
Notre Dame was in the championship last year too, weren't they?
Yeah, they got beat in the
but still 2025. So it's
and we'll see if either of them can get there in 2026.
Fever were 1 game away from the WNBA finals.
Yeah, it's been a hot time for Indiana sports, and long may it continue with the Colts. We shall see. Fourfold. Let's see if we can get Indiana sports rolling even further, Justin, with you picking a winning fourfold. Let's see what you like this week then. So start off with give me your favorite. So who's your favorite of week 12 in the NFL,
okay.
Justin?
I think I have to go the safe bet here. Seahawks over the Titans.
Yeah, so bounce back for Seattle after last week against the Rams.
Yeah, I think they're steamroll. Are we going against the spread or just money line?
ATS, yeah, ATS. That's what makes this so hard. Yeah, ATS.
Okay, hold on. I got to look at what the spread was. What was the spread on them again?
It's huge. It's 13.5.
Oh.
I mean, the Titans are terrible.
I got to relook at this. Let me look at the spreads again. Okay. I still took Seahawks I took them at minus 12.5, 13.5. Okay, hold on. Let me look at some of these.
Yeah, Seahawks. So yeah, Seahawks at Titans, 13.5-point favorites at the minute.
What are the Jets at? I have them at 13.5 as well.
Yeah, yes, Jets, Ravens. So Ravens minus 13.5 as well. Love the big number.
I feel like that's a trap. I feel like Baltimore's going to crush them, but the Jets, Tyrod Taylor, nobody else on the offense. I'm going to stick with it. Colts plus 3.5.
Cool, excellent. So Colts plus 3.5,
which is also an underdog, isn't it?
Yeah. So you've got Colts, so you take Colts as the underdog at plus 3.5. You can take the Colts as your underdog.
Oh, favorites. I need to pick favorite. Yeah. Okay, never mind. I need the minus. Okay, so I'm gonna take the Patriots over the Bengals.
Patriots 8.5-point favorites. Yeah, just any sort of joy or hope. Kind of the Bengals had that kind of huge Thursday night football win against the Steelers, and he thought, oh, maybe.
Yeah, and then Jamar Chase being suspended.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco still is a quarterback in the NFL somehow. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Patriots minus 8.5.
Cool. Joe Flacco's given us some fun over the last few weeks. Like he did his job of what he needed to do for us as the public, of making the Bengals fun, rather than what we got from Jake Browning. So thank you to Joe Flacco on that. So Patriots 8.5. Cool. I think that's a pretty sound favorite. Who's the underdog you're going for? Are you going to go for the Colts plus 3.5?
Yeah. I'll go Colts plus 3.5.
Yeah, absolutely. 3.5 makes sense, and got to back your team, especially as an underdog. Again, it's crazy. I think Vegas are trying to trap me with that. I think they really are. They want me to bet the Colts.
Yeah.
Give us your under then. Where do you think it might be a bit of a struggle this week? Got some low totals this week as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I hate picking over unders. This is the hardest one, I think, in my opinion. I'm gonna go with the very, very ugly Cleveland at Las Vegas game. I have them at under 36.5. Is that what it's at?
Yeah, under 36. We'll go under 36.5. Shadir confirmed that we get Shadir Sanders start after he came into the game for a concussed, I think, Dylan Gabriel on Sunday. I think he'll be better this week just because the Raiders have been terrible and he's got a full week to prep, right? So that's got to help a bit. And the Raiders stink, as we saw on Monday night, because the Cowboys ran them over. Where's your over then? Where do you like there to be?
Buffalo at Houston, over 43.5.
Thursday night football.
Oh God, it is Thursday.
That's okay.
Nope. Doing it. Buffalo at Houston.
Yeah, the Thursday night football flexes work. I think. I think most of us try and avoid it just because we don't want the 4-4 to be dead before we even get to Sunday. But I like this. So I think we got Davis Mills again, and the Bills were unbelievable. Oh, Josh Allen was unbelievable on Sunday.
Unbelievable. And then the Davis Mills Houston Texans are also weirdly good.
Yeah, strangely. He just seems to do the thing of let's just throw it to Nico Collins, which is the right thing to do for that offense.
That's fine. I just traded for Nico Collins, so do it all day.
Throw it to Nico Collins. Yeah, absolutely. Throw it to Nico Collins. You're not going to go far wrong. And they've got some other kind of sound pairs of hands. Schultz is a good safety valve, and so I think that's a good shout. 43.5, not massive. Potentially, again, I know the Texans defense is good, but Josh Allen was just on another level the other day. Again, just getting. I mean, who's he throwing to at the minute? Gabe Davis is back. Cole Hardman. Doesn't matter.
Does not matter. Keon Coleman or nothing. Doesn't matter who's in there. Yeah. He's just gonna get it done. James Cook didn't even get involved until the fourth quarter. Yeah. And they didn't need him to get involved until the fourth quarter even. So it was they took care of business against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, excellent, cool. So we've got Patriots 8.5-point favorites, Colts as 3.5-point underdogs, Bills Texans over 43.5, and Browns Raiders under 36.5. I like the look of that, Justin. I think that's got a real good chance this week. So fingers crossed. You are our first guest to hit the fourfold. tail Justin's fourfold, and fingers crossed you'll be everyone. You'll also be cashing a 12-1 shot as it is. Justin, before we let you go, first of all, thanks again for coming on the show. We really appreciate you, and thanks for coming on. Give us a shout out again in terms of where we can follow all things Fantasy Now Plus.
Yeah, the easiest place is fantasynowplus.com. If you want to follow the socials, you can add a /follow on there, and it'll give you all of our social media links as well. You can follow me. I'm on Blue Sky at justinbauerle.fantasynowplus.com. So that's where you can find us. Yeah, follow YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, not Twitter, sorry, Blue Sky, TikTok. All the places except for
Twitter. Yeah, excellent. Make sure you go following Justin and the guys at Fantasy Now Plus. Great NFL content, great obviously fantasy content that will help you win fantasy championships, and it's just a great watch as well. So make sure you do. Thank you, Justin. Thanks for coming on, and we're going to continue and finish our episode with the rest of our previews for the Sky Sports game and Primetime games, and of course, we'll be sharing our best bets.
Thanks there again to Justin. Go follow Justin and the other guys at Fantasy Now Plus. Fantasy Now Plus, the website. Go check out the YouTube channel. 7 live shows a week. Crazy amount of work that those guys do. So yeah, they'll help you win your fantasy championships. And it's coming into crunch time, playoff time. You might need some help. Those guys are there to help you. Go and subscribe. Go watch all the content. Great stuff and a great bunch. Always great to have Justin on the show. Let's then jump into our bets then for this one. Colts against Chiefs. I'll go up first. I'm going to go the under in this one. You've just heard me talking about, I might take the over with Justin, but I've had time to think about it since recording with him. So, yeah, I'm going to take the under. It's a Chiefs home game. I think is kind of where I'm at. 4 of 5 Chiefs home games this season have hit the under. Also under 7-3 in the last 10 Chiefs home games and 15-5 in the last 20 at home. So Arrowhead's been a difficult place for points in the last few seasons. I got a funny feeling this might run a bit like, maybe not quite with as many turnovers, but a bit more like how the Steelers game ran for the Colts. Chiefs, I think if 10-7 might get you in, but just with the tiebreakers and where they're at, actually, I think they've got maybe this might be it. If they go to drop to 5-6 here with a tiebreaker loss against the Jags, a tiebreaker loss against whatever, against whoever else, because there's that many at this point, I think it's just so difficult for them to get in. So I think they absolutely have to win here, and I think they can only do that if it's a low-scoring game. I don't think the Chiefs are going to blow out the Colts. I don't think they have the ability to do that. And I think the Chiefs might have an answer for Jonathan Taylor, stop him taking over. So I'm going to go under 50.5 in this one. 85% of the money and 73% of the bets is on the under as well, which always worries me when that much of the public money is on the same bet that I'm on. Next, we've got Byron's bet, I think.
We have, yeah. And he said Byron's picking. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns. Worst game, maybe not of his career, but worst game in a long time. Patrick Mahomes last week against Denver. And I think he's kind of on a FU mission this season. So I think he comes back in good fashion. I mean, the Colts going to be no easy secondary to pass on with Ward and Sauce Gardner back there. I believe for the first time it'll be them 2 back there. So it's not going to be easy business, but Mahomes, makes easy things look easy. So he can make something hard look easy as well, I'm pretty sure, this week. I'm not super sure on a line for the game yet. I think this could really go either way. But give me Patrick Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns at 2-1. And I don't know if you want to do this before we get to Joe's bet, but I do have a little fun fact trivia for you. You know how I like to do.
Love it.
Even battling through the pain. So the Colts in Arrowhead as an underdog lifetime are 3-1 and 3-1 against the spread. The last time they lost in Arrowhead as an underdog was November 24th, 1985. So before your boys' time, I will give you. But it's better than when they last lost in Arrowhead outright, because that was a rancid Ja Rule song that none of us could remember when I asked Paul before recording. So November 24, 1985, It was the UK number one. It's a bit of a banger. You probably know it. If you would like to straight up guess, I can give you a clue.
Number
1985. So give me Duran, Rio.
Incorrect.
I'll go, with it being AFC West, let's go West, the Pet Shop Boys.
I love the shout, but it's incorrect. How I kind of feel about the Chiefs this year are the opening lines of this song. So call me good, call me bad. Call me anything you want to, baby.
I don't know what this record is. Do you know what that is, Joe?
If you're gonna do it right.
There you go.
Man.
Oh, excellent.
It is Wham! I'm Your Man. The wonderful late George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley. Yeah, apparently it was their third UK number one. It says fifth on their discography though, so I'm not too sure. Someone's lying. But yeah, it's been that long since the Chiefs lost as an underdog in Arrowhead. 3-1 in the last 3 visits. Crazy. Can they do it again this week though? Or will they do it this week?
Will they do it? Joe, hit us with your bet.
Okay. Yeah, with Patrick Mahomes, he's going to throw it to that tight end. Travis Kelce, 2+ TDs, 11-1. Obviously, I love this bet. One man coming up a little bit later, but it's more just because Patrick Mahomes just cannot hit a deep ball right now. It's just the one thing the Chiefs offense really like. But they haven't really got the run game's okay, but Andy Reid just doesn't stick with it. But they just cannot hit them big players, which coming into this year, I thought that would be solid. We talked about in the review last week that Worthy's probably been one of the biggest disappointments this year. And Kelce just feels like he's starting to not have like monster games like he did, but he's getting the touchdowns, he's getting the numbers compared to the others. So I think they might target him. I'm probably going to opposite you, Paul. I think this could be not a crazy shootout, but I can see both teams getting high 20s just because the Colts feel like they're a big hitting team. And I think they'll, like you said, they'll probably stop Jonathan Taylor, but I think players like Alex Pierce, Pittman can certainly hit them big plays. So I think there's going to be a number of points, especially with Buckner being out as well. I think that's huge for this Chiefs. So the Colts D line. So I think the Chiefs might have a little bit more time, and Travis Kelce is Mahomes' number one target. And like you said, it's a must win. So why not target the guy who we trust the most? So 2+ TDs, 11-1.
Yeah, we just talked about that with Justin. I think kind of that's what he's worried about the most is Kelce, and yeah, I agree. I think he had 13 targets last week. I think it'll be something similar. So yeah, opportunity to get into the red zone, and especially that Kelce could be might have put a step on last week, didn't he, for that touchdown against the Broncos? Didn't move like that for a while. Cool, right? Let's go.
The Travis Kelce of it all, I think it's been kind of underrated this season. Do you know he has the second most receiving yards for a tight end this year?
I think I mentioned it a few weeks back. He was number one, and I was like surprised as well. Like it felt like we had all these good tight ends, but he just he's not had the 200 yards, like 3 touchdowns. He's just like constantly getting 70s, 80s, like each but short yardage. And like I said, when you get 13 targets, it certainly helps. Who's number one, by the way? Interesting.
Trey McBride, I presume.
I thought it would be,
yeah. Excellent. Cool. Right.
Just needed a quarterback all this time.
Excellent. Let's go to back to Sky Sports. Back to the usual format. Sky Sports late game. It's Eagles at Cowboys. Eagles are 3-point favorites. Over under 47.5. Not quite the usual juice on a Cowboys-Eagles game that we'd normally get, especially kind of at this time of year. Eagles continue getting their fill. Philly on their second 4-win streak of the season, but they're without their Hall of Fame tackle. Does this open up an avenue for Dallas to get at Hurts and sneak a win at home? I think that's a great point, Baron. You wrote the headlines this week. I think that's massive, Lane Johnson being out. I really, really do. That O-line for the Philadelphia Eagles has been struggling. It's found a bit, it's found a little bit. Cam Jurgens has been hurt as well. And yeah, I think it's not been the strength that it usually is. And they've found bits of rhythm with it, but they've been leaning on the defense a lot these last few weeks. And we saw that again, especially these last 2 wins against the 2 NFC North teams, the Packers and the Lions. They really have been leaning on the defense. So I really do think the Cowboys can get them. The defensive line played much better on Monday night. There is the caveat that, of course, it was the Las Vegas Raiders, so you can't get too carried away. But Quinnen Williams had that instant impact that we talked about last week that we thought he might have. He had a sack and a half, and he had that career best game for QB hits and pressures, I think, or QB pressures, which is a great start. And everybody else just seemed a little bit freer in terms of Kenny Clark and Oshira Digizua and Ezeraku and Dante Fowler and Jadeveon Clowney. And then all of a sudden, those guys became a factor. And again, can't get too carried away. It was the Raiders, but I suppose that was the effect of not having Micah Parsons, that those guys then struggle because they didn't have that one focal point. And I'm not Quinnen Williams doesn't need to be the focal point, but he gets enough attention where it's allowing the others then to be able to go and make plays. So that needs to be kind of the recipe again here for the Cowboys, I think, if they are going to beat the Eagles. But I think they can, and this offense certainly can trouble a very, very good Eagles defense. How are we seeing it, guys? I've tried to buy time.
Sorry.
Byron, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I think Dallas can keep this one close. I'm not sure they win. 3 points, even at home, is a lot against Philadelphia, who've, had a mixed record in Dallas over the years. I think they won the last meeting there, but other than that, they've lost quite a few in a row. Dak normally does very well against Philly at home. And I know, like you mentioned, I wrote the headline here. The Lane Johnson thing, I think, is huge. I did some diving yesterday, and basically this is just Jalen Hurts, not Philadelphia, in terms of win-loss, but basically his stats just half when Lane Johnson isn't there. He goes from 42 to 28 rush yards. He goes from 216 to 117 passing yards, 1.3 passing touchdowns per game to 0.65. Pass attempts go from 28 to 17, and this is fantasy, so don't take it all totally, but it goes from 24.1 fantasy points per game with Lane Johnson to 13 without Lane Johnson, which is very, very, very pedestrian. So do they get it done this week? Maybe. I mean, that defense looks really good right now for Philadelphia. The linebackers greatly improved. Nakobe Dean, player of the match, I think, against the Detroit Lions on Sunday. So I think it's going to be, can they slow Dallas's offense down? I think Dallas are going to be able to slow down Philly's. But if Philly's defense steps up as it has been the last few weeks since Jalen Phillips arrived, then that's going to be an issue. I think it should be a really good game. I've gone with Philly covering just. I really could have went either way, though. It's not one that I feel hugely confident. I won't be betting the line on this game. I can guarantee that.
Cool. Joe, where are you at with this? Eagles, Cowboys? Again, usually I say a barnstormer, but what are we feeling?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Like when I first saw the number, I was a bit like, "Oh, only 3 points for the Eagles," just because how it feels like that defense is starting to round out. It's doing the typical Eagles we talked about, where they're somehow 8-2 and they've just played the hardest. The schedule feels like it's been really tough, and they managed to beat all these NFC contenders. And the Cowboys are so up and down. I think it's hard with like you mentioned, the Cowboys beat the Raiders, but it is the Raiders at the same time, and they won the bye the week before that. So it feels like it's forgotten about how the Cowboys have played this year. And I know they had a good year, but it was only a few weeks ago they lost to the Cardinals, and they feel like they got beaten quite heavily then. So I think this Eagles defense can put a hold on this Cowboys offense. I just think with the cornerbacks right now, I don't know the news about Tyler Smith. Apparently, he's limited in practice yesterday. So for the Cowboys, so
he seems to be on the report every week, though.
Yes, and obviously that's big against when you think about the defensive tackles for the Eagles. And I think my worry for the Cowboys is when you look. Yeah, we mentioned the they play the Raiders, but Geno still managed to get 238 yards. And when you look at some of the other games, he against the Chiefs, he was in the not even got to 100. Against the Broncos, he was low. Against the Titans, he only got 174 yards, and he only beat against the Jags because he went to overtime. So if Geno can get yards, I feel like Hurts. I feel this could be a big game for the wide receivers for the Eagles, and they've got Saquon Barkley as well to round that out. So I think the Eagles are going to win this. I think they'll cover as well. If the Cowboys do win, it certainly makes their season a lot more interesting at 5-5-1. But they've been such a big letdown kind of year where you think, oh, they're just getting back on it, and then they have a disaster, and they've had a few at home as well. So, I'm leaning the Eagles this game.
Yeah, I have one big worry from a Cowboys perspective, and that is the Eagles are wearing the Kelly Greens. It's never a good sign. Flip it over though, Joe. I'm taking the Cowboys. For the sake of all things prime time over the next 5 to 6 weeks, the NFL world needs the Dallas Cowboys to win this football game. Can't be going into the Chiefs on Thanksgiving dead. The Cowboys are dead, just to be clear. But if they can get to 5-5-1, there's a sliver.
Every year, there's one turkey that gets pardoned for Thanksgiving. Could it be the Cowboys?
Could it be the Cowboys? Yeah, but at 5-5-1, there's a slither of making a run and sneaking in the back door. Very, very thin slither. 4-6-1, there's not. And we obviously there's the Thanksgiving game. They then play the Lions the week after on Thursday Night Football. They've got the Commanders on Christmas Day, and what could be again potentially, if there's nothing on that game, Netflix Christmas Day. There's all these there's all these games that the Cowboys are in on primetime that need to have something riding on them. A lot of them do from another team perspective, but you want both teams having something, or at least one team. So I'm hoping that the Cowboys just pull it off that way. I do think Cowboys and Eagles usually split as well, and the Cowboys were I'm going to go back to, I know a lot's happened. Opening night, Cowboys should have beat the Eagles in Philly.
They were within spitting distance, yeah.
Within spitting distance. And if anything, this defense has got better. It's got worse and then got better.
I don't know which team you're talking about, but yes is the answer to that, yeah.
So I know. I think the Cowboys can pull it off. They're still riding, but obviously it was a huge emotional game Monday night. I'm worried that there's a bit of just like a come down from that. But
this is
again,
also a game though, so
it is also the first home game as well since Marshawn Neal sadly passed. So yeah, I don't know. I think the Cowboys could maybe ride that wave another week and get a big win over Philly. And I think it would just give the Cowboys some juice for these next few weeks. And I think that's what's needed. And I think, again, the Eagles have been going through these kind of just stinky games recently. I think they're just going to get caught out one week. It doesn't mean I think they're a bad team or doesn't make them a bad team. I just think they're going to get caught out one week. And why not Sunday in Dallas? That's my analysis. And then the other bits, because I've got some actual analysis or facts. Cowboys won 7 of the last 10 in Dallas, including 6 in a row before the Eagles won in Jerry World last year. Dak 35-9 versus the NFC East. That's incredible division record.
Yeah, Dak's great.
Yeah.
Just not in the divisional round. That's the problem.
There's no need for that. There's no need for that. Next up, Byron, I think it's your bet.
Yeah, I think the squeaky wheel continues to get the grease. Cashed the 6+ receptions last week for AJ Brown. If he gets 6 receptions this week, he's going over 8 receiving yards with the Dallas cornerbacks in town. So, well, in their own town, I guess. But in this matchup, they're not slowing AJ Brown down if he gets the ball. So AJ Brown, 80+ receiving yards at 2-1 is my play.
And Joe?
Back to the tight ends, baby. Dallas got a 2+ touchdowns, 18-1. Yeah, we've talked about this a lot. They were trying to get rid of him before the season, and he's got 7 touchdowns this year. He had a 2-touchdown game against the Giants a couple of weeks ago, and he got 100 and last week he got 5 targets, so he at least gets plenty of targets. And like I said, I think with this, the Cowboys' defensive line's got better, but they still have the issues with the linebackers. So why not throw it to your number 1 tight end and for her to help out? So yeah,
and he's addicted to tight ends. Is Joe at the minute? Addicted.
And maybe not just a pass. Maybe after Mark Andrews, what I'm calling the tush rush last week, did Philly have a wrinkle of a tush rush for Dallas Goedert?
Maybe we saw the Saquon tush rush, didn't we? Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, earlier in the season.
We need a TE tush rush.
The TE tush rush.
Well, we don't keep it. Sorry, Joe, but I don't want to see it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Right. Next up, Sunday Night Football. Buccaneers 6.5-point underdogs at the LA Rams. Over under is 49.5. Bucs need to book things up to book their playoff berth. 0-2 off the bye. Tampa's tough schedule ends this week. will be keen to show they can beat the best and cement themselves as the best in the South once again, which I'm sure they will do off the bat, even though they're coming under a little bit of pressure from the Carolina Panthers. What do you make of this one? I feel that the Bucs just had such a rough ride of it, and such a bad run, or tough run of fixtures, I should say. But they keep kind of showing up in them, and they keep giving teams a game. So they just ran out of steam against the Bills last week, whereas the Rams, Joe, I'm not sure where they are in our power rankings. Are they one? Yep, one in our power rankings. Crazy how you guys have got them over the Eagles when the Eagles have got a win over them.
Do you remember what the win was?
Win's a win.
Mm.
You guys like
have you got the Browns ahead of the Packers, mate?
You guys, let's not. We're only going to use the bits where it suits my narrative.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
College football playoff committee. Rams obviously just keep rolling on after a big win, hung on, I guess, against the Seahawks last week. How are you seeing this one?
I expect the Rams to take care of business. I think, kind of pointed to it there with the schedule talk. When the Bucs play someone, I think on paper better than them, they lose. When they play teams that are at their level or worse, they beat them. I think the Rams are a level above them. Maybe if both teams were 100%, I think truthfully I'd still take the Rams as a better team, but I think it'd be a close competition. The Rams are 7-3 against the spread this season. The Bucs are 5-5, which I think again kind of lends that credence of when you expect them to win, they'll win. When you expect them to lose, they probably won't win. I think it should be a great game though. Baker Mayfield revenge game in maybe the softer revenge game calls.
I don't think it's revenge. Like,
of course, he had a great
time in LA. Yeah.
No, it was a rebirth game for Baker. It was incredible. One of my favorite quarterback performances of all time, truthfully, for doing that on like 1 day's practice, if any. But no, I think it should be a really fun matchup. I think we probably won't see the Rams in 13 personnel as much because Tyler Higbee has been placed on IR. So we won't be seeing Higbee this week, certainly, but that could lead to more, low budget plays in fantasy game day like Tyler. No, not like Tyler Higbee. He's injured.
Terrence Ferguson.
Colby Parkinson or Terrence Ferguson, who I touted Terrence Ferguson last week, who then went on to have 0 targets for 0 catches, 0 yards, and no touchdowns, unsurprisingly. This week, maybe, though. He doesn't make my shots.
You just have to pick the right one. I think that's the problem. You've got to pick the right one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing a deep fantasy format, though, I would definitely recommend picking at least one of them up and taking a swing if you need to at tight end. But I do just think the Rams are just going to have too much. But I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a lot of throw-in. I don't think it's going to be decided before the end of the fourth, the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. I think it'll go to the wire. And let's hope so. Bucs another week fitter. I don't know if Bucky Irving or Godwin are going to be back for this one, but they're getting closer. If they're back for the week after, then we expect the Bucs to pick right back up. I just think they're not going to have enough to contend with LA this week.
Yeah, I'm similar. Joe, where are you?
Yeah, I think just the Rams that have been head and shoulders above a lot of teams, and I think the Bucs have just, we talked about at the start of the year. They got the wins on the last kick of the game, and I think it's just flipped right now. And I think the injuries are just taking a toll, and they're just giving up too many big players. And I think this Rams team can take advantage of that when you look at someone like Williams, the running back. I think he can certainly hit some big runs, and when you got the wide receivers, what they've got, I think it's going to be a big game. Stafford, I think it could be an over. I think both teams could score points. I think obviously that Rams defense can be how they played against the Seahawks, the bend don't break. I don't know if they'll do the same against the Bucs, but I think the Bucs can certainly, because I think they've got a better run game, and we'll see what Egbuka does again. So I think it could be an over because I keep backing the Bucs on the 4-4 as being over, and they've hit the last 2 weeks. So I think this one could be similar, where it feels a bit of a shootout to begin with, but then the Rams just take over and they might cover that 6.5.
Yeah, I'm worried for the Bucs. I think they might take a bit of a pasting this week. I'm a bit worried for them. I think I know maybe another week fitter, but it's also went to Buffalo, then they go into LA, and they've been just tough games. And I just think it's going to take its toll a little bit. They might show up here before they have a bounce back in the final stretch of the season to close the division out. Rams 8-1-1 in the last 10 meetings versus the Bucs. 4 of last 5 Rams home games have hit 4 of 5 Rams home games this season have hit the under, and under is 8-2 in the last 10 Rams home games as a favourite. I was very interested in that. In the end, if we flip to the bets, Joe, for now, I've already put my bet on that you'll see on our social media channels, but I'm gonna take the Rams minus the 6.5. Why did I only put 6 on the sheet when it's 6.5? I meant 6.5. Yeah, I think they are just gonna. Yeah, I think they're just gonna dominate. I think we might get like a full 4-quarter performance for the Rams. I think that they might have been a little bit pissed off that they didn't put in a full quarter performance last week. In the end, they were hanging on. And you know what? We're a good field goal, a good kick away from being beaten by the Seahawks, despite all those turnovers that they forced. Maybe got away with one last week. I don't think McVay's gonna let the Buccaneers sniff a thing this week, and I think it's gonna be Rams total domination -6.5. Oh, we're all on the Rams. Why did I not see that before placing the bet? Byron,
I have made a bet, and it is Sean Tucker anytime touchdown. I didn't know what it was till it came on the screen because I placed 2 bets for this game already. I got on the sheet early. Tucker was great against the Bills. I presume Bucky Irving isn't going to play this week. I don't think you can put that genie back in the bottle. I think Sean Tucker has to be the lead back here. Rashad White can deal with the dump-offs and third down role. But yeah, Sean Tucker nearly 2-1 anytime touchdown scorer. He knows where the end zone is. Really dynamic running back. So yeah, give me 95 on Tucker anytime touchdown.
Quick one. Do you follow Sean Tucker on X or Blue
I don't know.
He is a great follow on X. So he just has gives, and he has done this all the way through since he was at college. And he will just give like a quick summary of the game about whether he was pleased or not pleased with his and the team's performance. It's great.
Oh wow, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like I'm pleased, I'm not pleased. It's just brilliant. So you should follow Sean Tucker on X.
Give him a check out. Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, so I was looking at the Bucky Irving. So apparently practice today, but then he's also seen somewhere else say that he'll not play Sunday. So it's
I think they're just going
to seems to be nursing him along.
So my bet is Puka Nacua 6+ receptions, 100+ reception yards, and a TD at 11-4. I think, like I mentioned, it's a big play, and I think he didn't have obviously had a decent game last week, but how like what Paul mentioned, the Rams offense weren't certainly happy. So I think he goes off and certainly gets plenty of yards against this Bucs team, which is struggling at the minute against high-powered offenses.
Excellent. Flip to Monday Night Football, and Joe, we've got your team. San Francisco 49ers are hosting the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are 7-point underdogs. Over/under is 48.5. Which running back-led offense can carry their team to victory? Dowdle versus CMC, the heavyweight battle we didn't expect. Which inconsistent team will stamp their authority and ride their back to glory? Does it feel weird that the Panthers are on Monday Night Football?
It feels weird that this is the game that's on Monday Night Football. I don't really know, if it's a division game, Panthers at Saints or something, you're like, oh, it's a division game. Panthers at 49ers, I don't quite know the thinking, I will say. The Panthers have played at San Fran as 6 or more point underdogs 6 times, and they're 5-1. Their only loss came October 7, 2001. I don't have a number 1 fact lined up for you, unfortunately. We've done that. But it is the day the US launched military operations in Afghanistan after 9/11. I don't think as a result of the Panthers covering or failing to cover against the Niners. I think it's just a coincidence. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out. Obviously, I wrote the headline here. It's not a great one, but I think they are the story of the game. Rico Dowdle and CMC. Yeah. I'll get to you in a minute, Joe. I know this is much more your game than mine. But since week 5, when Rico Dowdle took the lead back role in Carolina, there was only 2 players in the NFL with more than 900 yards from scrimmage. CMC has 909. Rico Dowdle has 927. They are the 2 hottest players in football right now. Poor Jonathan Taylor is 28 yards off that cutoff and has played a game less, but he has not made 900 yards. That is a fact. So I can't wait to watch it. I hope it just goes through both these players. Purdy being back, obviously huge for the Niners, and I'll stop talking because I'm sure Joe has more pertinent things to say than me just rattling off running back stats.
Yeah, Joe, fire away. Thoughts on this one?
Could you say it's a revenge again for wasting his years when he was younger? CMC playing against his old team, obviously the Carolina Panthers. I'm fairly confident with this one. I think the 49ers win. I think it was a good win last week. I think having Purdy back, it just makes the right decision, and it feels like everything's smoother, especially on offense. He still had a few throws which could have been picked off to begin with, but then it seemed like afterwards everyone just fit. Kittle looked better. The wide receivers were catching. I think it's going to be another strong performance from the 49ers. I think the Panthers are certainly going to get yards. If Brissett can get the most amount of throws and completions last week, I think Young can. And so I think when you look at Ted McMillan or Tommy Tremble, something like that, that could be big. I think they're going to just try and stop the run. And I'm just curious because that's what the Falcons did last week, but Young just absolutely cooked on them. Would he be able to do that against this solid defense? I don't think he will be able to. I think Young is so up and down, and I think I said it last week. He's so selective in terms of if you watched him 1 week, you think, "Wow, he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks." You watch him another week, he's like, "Jesus Christ, he should be benched." And I think it could be a struggle. And I think they're going to lean on CMC. I think Purdy's going to do his thing, and I think the 49ers win this game, especially being at home as well. So I'm a bit more confident. Not great news. Tatum Buffoon, another linebacker, is doubtful. It looks like he's out for a few weeks with a right ankle. Again, that's another linebacker who I think he was calling the plays for Fred Warner. So it's another defender down. Obviously, it's just a few weeks. It's not as bad as some of the other ones, but it looks to seem fairly strong at the cornerback position. I think they'll give a lot of players up, but I think how Salah's defense has been stopping them at the right time. So I feel like it's going to be a big game for the 49ers just to stamp their forward, to get to 8-4 with some of the games they've got. Try and get, I think it's like they've got 3 games where they are favourites and should win, get to 10-4 when you're playing, the Seahawks again, and teams like that. You've got room for certain losses. But I think they have also, I think one of the facts of is it the last 8 games of 1-1, lost 1, won 1, lost 1, won 1, lost 1,
yeah,
won 1. So I think this is the 8th game.
Even weeks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that's even weeks, lost in odd weeks. Is that the right way? No. What week are we in? 12.
We're in
12, lost in even weeks, won in odd weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So fingers crossed that changes.
Yeah. Flip to the bets, Joe. Don't overthink this one. It's the Niners. Niners. Panthers don't belong here. Panthers don't belong on prime time. Sorry. They're up and down. It's Kyle Shanahan. It's Brock Purdy. It's Kittle. It's CMC. Just don't overthink it. It's the 49ers. Lay the points. 49ers.
That is a 7-4 against the spread Panthers against the 6-5 against the spread Niners. And it sounds like you're trying to invoke more US military action, but that's okay. I'm going Rico Dowdle 80+ rushing yards in that 7 games sample I just mentioned, which is the last 7 weeks, not just a random 7 games. Rico Dowdle's averaging 107 yards rushing per game. 80 seems like a pretty low watermark considering that. Even money for him to get to 80+ rushing yards, and they'd be foolish to go away from him, quite frankly. So I trust that they continue pounding that rock and he can go over 80 again. Joe?
Excellent. Joe?
Yeah, I've got Ted McMillan and Ricky Pearsall both at 60+ receiving yards at 21-5. I think Ted will get it fairly comfortably. Like I said, I think the 49ers do give a lot of yards in the air, especially. But I think Pearsall, I think he got 2 targets and maybe 1 catch for a yard.
Yeah.
So I think having another week under his belt, I think they'll probably focus on Kittle and Jennings, and I don't know if they've got the next person to step up to go against a good wide receiver. So I've got Ricky Pearsall, both of them getting 60+ receiving yards at just over 4-1.
Excellent. That's it. That's our primetime Sky Sports and Channel 5 game done for this week in a slight change from our regularly scheduled programming, but some great games there and hopefully plenty of winning bets, because we've been, again, I think, what was it, 4? Did we do 15 winners last week as well? I think it was in the end. Might have been 14 or 15 winners. So yeah, plenty more to come. So speaking of winners, Joe won a 4-fold last week, so let's see if we can do it again. See if we can make it 3, or see if me and Byron can help out and pull our weight with 1. Given my run, though, not much hope. But yeah, just in case you don't know, our fourfold challenge, we pick 1 favourite, 1 underdog, 1 over, 1 under from the NFL slate for the week. Combine that into a 12-1 bet, and fingers crossed, we hit them, and we keep a track of all the outcomes over the course of the year. And the loser has to do a forfeit. That loser right now is me by a mile. Probably going to be doing a big old forfeit at the end of the regular season, but we'll see. I am a whole 8 games behind Joe, who's winning. Byron's 2 games behind him. You heard Justin's earlier on. We've made a slight change to Justin's benefit. as the Patriots line changed by quite a lot. It's changed by 1.5. So what we do, Joe, is we change the we update the number, and then because Justin picked his a day earlier, we'll do him a solid. So he's on the Patriots -7 now, not -8.5. So get that benefit. But first up, take my favorite. Again, this is a don't think about it. It's probably my biggest bet of the week as well. It's the Detroit Lions off a regular season loss. Talked about it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was. Lions 10-point favorites at home to the New York Giants. Is it Jameis again or a Jackson Dart out of concussion protocol?
I saw Dart. That's what I heard today.
I don't care who it is. Yeah, it's in Detroit. Off the back of it, the Lions cover the number by it'll be more than the 12 now. So in the last 7 off the back of the last 7 regular season losses, they come back, they cover the number plus 12 or 13 points more. I'm expecting them to beat the Giants by 20 plus here. Give me the Lions -10. They need a bounce back. The Lions need to show themselves again. These are the games that we know they take care of. I need to see the Lions give me some confidence. The Lions to put up 50. Or you need to go beat a really good team because you've not done that yet. So go hammer the Giants here and start getting your grooves back. Joe? Joe, you're on mute as well.
Yeah. I'm going to do my other first.
Nearly 200 episodes.
I'm going to go a game we've already talked about. I'm actually going to go the Panthers 49ers over 48.5. I think the 49ers are going to score heavy on this team, and I think the Panthers, like I mentioned, the 49ers defense is not amazing, so I think they'll be able to score a good 20 points as well. So over 48.5.
Byron.
Cool. I'm going to go a game we haven't talked about. I'm going to take the over in Tennessee. We'll go over 40 for Seahawks Titans. I think after last week, Seattle just want a good old butt kick in. JSN's playing out of his mind. Mike McDonald has said Ken Walker deserves more touches. So he might be someone that's in play for my rushing leader of the week. Prices aren't out yet, so I have no idea. But if he's anything like a 20-1 shot, I'd probably consider him. Because when he gets the ball, he makes plays. Just they like the solidity of Zach Charbonnet. But I think this might be a game where they get Ken Walker more involved. Titans might push back with something on offense, but they're certainly not slowing down Seattle. So yeah, I'll take over 40 points and think Seattle can get 30 of them by themselves, no problem. I'm pretty comfortable I can get my favorite and underdog late. So let me just pick an under. Let me take the Steelers Bears under 45.5, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or not really that bothered. Not sure there's that much difference functional between Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers in terms of how many points they'll put up. Rodgers is a wreck, and Rudolph it ain't Christmas yet, buddy. Get back in the shed. Yeah, under 45.5 there. And I love that you two have gone Steelers because we were all going to go on the Bears, so I'm delighted I'm the only one on the Bears.
You know what?
Well, the under is my bet, to be clear.
I've just checked my ATS. That is news to me that I had left that as that I changed that to the Steelers, and I clearly did because it's on the sheet. So just an idiot. I don't know why, because I really love the Bears, but I can't go against my own ATS.
What's the weather saying where you are, Byron, for the Bears?
I don't know. Actually, it's pretty chilly today, but I mean, today is Thursday. I have no idea.
Oh, fair enough. I thought that came in.
It's been one of them weeks. I barely know what day it is.
Sunday, Chicago, Illinois. Sunny November. Sunny late November. Yeah. Was it 12? Well, is it 12 Central kickoff? Will it be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
11 Sunny. Eastern time. No, 1 o'clock Eastern time. I'm sorry, I hate these time zones.
Just
never get anything right.
Sunny. Cold, but sunny. Cool. Joe, you've got an over.
Yeah, I'm going to go my favorite. I'm going to ride with Justin. I'm going to go the Patriots -7 against the Bengals. Obviously, it's up in the air if Burrows is playing or not.
I think he is. If that line moved as much as it did overnight, then I think he's going to be playing.
But I just think, again, this defense is putrid, and I think the Patriots are going to be dominant and they're going to get some points. I think Drake May is going to, his completion percentage has been so high. And I think a big thing is Jamar Chase being out for the Bengals, so you miss the number 1 target. So I think the Patriots might dominate this game. So -7 for the Patriots and stamp their authority for the AFC.
Excellent. I'll take my underdog and underdog. Give me Shadur. Browns +4. I always have this thing where I think that the Browns defense doesn't travel. It'll travel to Vegas against the Raiders. The Raiders are fucking awful.
I'm adding it to the list. Mike Tomlin as an underdog. Detroit off a loss. Shadur Sanders anytime.
Shadur Sanders anytime. And this isn't a Shadur thing. I think this is more. I think the Browns defense can do more than enough to keep it really, really low scoring, and they're getting more than a field goal. So I like the +4. I actually think Shadur might do okay this week as well. Obviously, bad situation last week to be kind of dumped into. So I think
you can't judge him on last week.
Yeah, exactly. You probably can't. I don't think you can judge him really. Realistically, he hasn't been taking any. He hasn't been doing any work properly with the ones since training camp, and he would have barely done anything then. I don't think so.
Not an easy life for the backup quarterback.
It's not, and they've all come out this week.
Well, not an easy life. The rookie backup quarterback, especially.
So I think he'll do okay as well. It's tough as well because again, when you look around who's he got to throw, it's tough. I think they'll lean on the run game a lot. What you don't want to do is just leave Shadur there and have like Max Crosby trying to get at him all day. So I think they'll run a lot. I think they'll I think they'll look after him. And I don't think the game script, the way the game flow will get into a situation where he needs to throw it 40 odd times. So yeah, I like the Browns +4 on the road at the Raiders this week. And then my under, I'm going to stick in the AFC North, I guess. I'm going to go Ravens Jets under 44.5. I know the Jets have changed to Tyrod Taylor this week. That Ravens defense is humming. I really struggle seeing the Jets getting to 10, and then it's just how much of a beating do the Ravens put on them. I guess so. My hope is that I suppose the worry is the Ravens could get to like 44 on their own, and then it would be obviously close. So 44-0, I'll take. But yeah, I think the Ravens are going to put one hell of a beating on the Jets this week. Yeah, I think they're done. Ravens are done messing around now, aren't they? So give me the under 44.5 Ravens Jets.
Oh, cool. You've taken two of my unders.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like Joe's been hot on the fourth so if I'm taking his picks, that's a good sign. Although I feel he does this every week, and then mine miss.
Yeah, no, yeah.
His backup ones hit.
Is this when end of the year you're going to start claiming like half a points from me and trying to like get extra wins based on that? Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna take my under because I'm not quite sure of my underdog. I don't like any of them. I'm gonna go under Vikings Packers 41. I think this is gonna be a tight affair of two NFC North teams. Obviously, we've talked about JJ McCarthy quite a lot, and that he's been fairly putrid this year. And I think this Green Bay defense can hold him in check. And I think that the Vikings defense has been playing well. They managed to hold Chicago down. So I think it's going to be a similar game to how the Vikings Bears team, where it comes down to a field goal and it's like 19-17. So under 41 for the Vikings at the Packers. And it'll be outside as well. So hoping for a cold fall, /winter day in Lambeau.
Excellent. Byron, you've got your favourite and your dog to finish off.
Yeah, I'll take my favorite. I'll take the Ravens -13.5. As you say, they are humming. The Jets are humming in a much worse context. They are stinking. Yeah, I just think bottom or back to business. This is your chance, by the way, before Sunday to buy low on Lamar Jackson before he goes off on Sunday, because not a great run out against the Browns as kind of anticipated. Another week fitter, although he actually missed practice, but he's expected to play, so maybe he's not another week fitter. Maybe that's a lot of nonsense. But I think he's going to play. I think he's going to cook. Lamar's too good to keep down for this long. So, yeah, give me the Ravens -13.5 at home against the Jets. And for my underdog, I'm not sure if we're going to end up going... Well, we're not going to end up going head-to-head because you guys have already picked your favourite, and I'm not taking the underdog in either of those games. But I am taking the Rico Dowdles, the Fighting Dowdlers. Panthers +7 going into San Fran. And as I said to Joe earlier, when he's saying it's a revenge game for CMC, CMC does have as many rings in Carolina as he has in San Francisco. So it's not like he wasted his time in one more than the other. Life is nothing but a waste of time. So, Yeah, give me the Panthers +7 going to San Fran. I don't think they're a much worse team than the Niners. I've said this all summer though as well, that I don't think the Niners are very good. They just have a very easy record, very easy schedule. And I think they're playing someone about their level this week. And give me 7 points for home advantage. You know, I think that's too much.
Fair enough. Joe, you need a dog.
And you can't take the Panthers.
No, I can't take the Panthers.
He was desperate to take them.
And you know what, 49ers was on my list of favourites to take as well. It was in between them and the Patriots. You know, do I do it? Do I go with them again? Fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go the Falcons +1.5.
That's
tempted.
disgusting.
With Kirk
so
Cousins. Yeah, Kirk Cousins. It's just because they're playing the Saints. I think, you know, obviously the Saints played well just before the bye, Tyler Shook. But there's only really one. I think the Falcons defense is going to be able to hold the Saints in check. And yeah, I think it's going to be one of my weird bounce backup comes in, bit like Shedeur Sanders. The backup comes in and gets the win. So everyone's doubting the Falcons, and this is when they just get a horrible win. And, you know, I was going to say pick in the mid-teens, but they're not even picking. So.
Yeah, I hate. I've got an over to finish. I hate the overs this week. Give me Jags Cardinals though, over 47.5. All five Jags road games hit the over. 4 of 5 Cardinals home games so far have hit the over. This is where the Jaguars let me down and just put a stinker in after hammering the Chargers last week, I think. But
Sounds like the Jags.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of. I just really don't like. I really don't like. I'm just looking at the totals. I'm really struggling with like overs this week. So, yeah, but Jags Cardinals. I think Brissett will just complete a load of passes, right? Like, and that'll be enough to get them some points.
An NFL record amount of passes.
Yeah.
No Marv again this week either, but that doesn't matter either.
It matters. Yeah. And I know kind of Jaguars missing Travis Hunter and not great. You know, it's not been great as it. Brian Thomas Jr. stuff like that, but I think there's enough here to get to 48 points between them.
Grand.
Excellent. So yeah, that's us. See if we can find a winner this week. I'm a lot more confident in mine this week than I was last week. My last week's effort was rancid from me, so I feel a bit more confident. I feel like the lack of preparation actually helped me this week. Yeah, we'll see if we can hit it. Hopefully we can. We're just going to jump into our ATS picks to finish off the episode this week. This is where it is going well for me. I do this first, right, every week, and I think it phases me. Maybe I do this last. I don't know, because it just phases me. Then I just need to back myself, because 86, 71, and 5 is great ATS record 11 weeks into a season. So that's what I just need to do. Anyway, that was just my way of saying I'm winning this. 11 games clear of Byron, who is 10 clear of Joe. Anyway, let's just pick out our lone rangers. Just me on the Bills on Thursday Night Football as well. Interesting. We'll see how that's gone. Charlie went Texans as well, didn't he? To be fair, I didn't get to see the video before I posted it, so that's my bad. Hand up.
You had the chance to. You chose not to.
I was busy.
Just a 30-minute video.
Yeah, it's just you on the Bears, Byron, as a 2.5 point favorite. I don't. Again, like this week, I don't know if this is going to tell me anything new, anything more about the Bears. Like, I feel like, they should just beat the Steelers. Maybe I think these two. I think the only thing closer than I think.
I think if it's a blowout either way, it'll tell you something. But otherwise, yeah, I kind of agree.
Yeah, we'll see. I just kind of thought it'd be close and potentially low scoring as well. So that's why I think I flipped to the Steelers. I feel like the Bears bubble's going to burst. It's got to at some point, right? It's just Chicago.
Leading the division, Chicago.
Yeah, wild.
And leading the division, Pittsburgh as well. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Maybe
this is not a game between two division winners.
That's why I've gone to that game. Just you on the Bengals, Byron?
Yeah, give me the Joe Burrow bounce.
Joe Burrow bounce, yeah. All of us on the Lions. Just me on the Vikings. I think the Vikings will keep it close against the Packers. Not because of JJ McCarthy, but because maybe the defense.
Weirdly with JJ McCarthy, though. So he obviously I can't remember the exact stat, but basically has the most like bad throws in the league, whatever that metric is called. He also has the most big time throws in the league. One of them's probably going to even out.
Yeah.
I suspect it's not the big time. I suspect it's not the bad throws, though.
Yeah.
But there was something there. He can make big throws, but he just gets out of rhythm and off balance so quickly that that's when it all sneaks in. If he can get to a full game and compose himself and keep on rhythm, maybe. But
maybe we'll see.
Got to see it first.
All of us expecting the Seahawks to cover that big 13.5. I think the Titans have done okay against the spread when they've been when they've had the huge number. So I'm interested to see if they could do that again. We'll see. Just you on a lot of you solo Byron this week. Just you on the Chiefs. Joe, just you on the Jets. You think that's too many points for the Ravens? I feel like the Ravens are absolutely going to hammer the Jets here.
I don't know. I just like Lamar's it feels like he's just been struggling the last few weeks, and I think how the Jets coming off a bye, I believe. Or did they play Thursday Night Football last week?
Beat by the Patriots, a mini bye.
Yeah. And it felt like they kept it fairly close against the Patriots until the end. So I think they can do something with Tyrod Taylor being there. They're actually going to be able to throw more than minus 10 yards. So I think it could be a close one where you're just waiting for the Ravens to blow them out, but they win by 10 or 13 probably.
13, hopefully not. Byron, you're not buying, obviously not in on Shedeur this week, or just with the Raiders? 4-point favorite. I don't think the Raiders should be 4-point favorites against anybody.
Well, if they're going to be 4-point favorites against anyone, it's the Shedeur Sanders-led Cleveland Browns. Let's be fair. No, I just kind of worry that Shedeur is going to be who Shedeur always has been, and he's just going to run back 30 yards for sacks. And that was him in college, where it didn't matter so much, but it will matter in the NFL. If you could teach him, hey, if the play's not there, throw it away, I think they can cover 4, but I don't think that's in his makeup.
Fair enough.
I think that's just who he is. So, yeah, I think the Raiders can... And the Raiders really need a performance before the end of the season, or Pete Carroll's gone. I think Pete Carroll's probably gone anyway.
He's gone anyway.
But they don't have many more opportunities to put in a performance than this. So, and if not, I think we might see AOC by halftime or the end of the game.
Yeah, I think AOC time is coming. Power rankings 30 versus 31 that game. Game of the week. Cardinals, Joe, you've got Cardinals as 3-point dogs against the Jaguars.
Yeah, it was a coin toss. And I just feel like the Jags, it feels like very Jagsy too. Like you mentioned, coming off that big win to absolutely just flounder against the Cardinal teams whose season's finished. So that's why I just went with, because I think even though it was a big win, I don't think Trevor Lawrence played that well against the Chargers. So I think the Cardinals bounced back after 2 putrid performances against division teams. So
is that your word of the episode? Putrid.
There you go.
You've been loving it the last 15 minutes.
Your 4-fold record, yeah.
Putrid, very accurate, Joe. I didn't say you were wrong in the use of the word. Very accurate. Just me on the Cowboys. Just me on the Saints as well. I think the Saints might put a bit of a beating on the Falcons this week. And I know really the Saints really in a position to put a beating on anybody, but Saints usually real good at home against the Falcons. And yeah, I just think I think that's quite possibly the one place you don't want to go this week if you're Atlanta, given just kind of the mess of what's going on, is to go into, obviously, Saints off the back of a win. I know they've had a bye, but then they've got obviously their most hated rival coming to town, who are in a very, very weakened position. Kind of feel like the Saints might just going to pour the misery on top of the Falcons. Honestly, Penix, just quick, because we didn't really talk about it. Penix is done, ACL. 3rd time in like the last 6 years he's done his ACL, and this time partially torn rather than like the full thing. Not great.
Isn't it the other leg?
Yeah, but it's just very susceptible.
Yeah, it's crazy,
injuries, isn't it? Yeah, both of them are faults. Would you rather it be the same one for the 3rd time or the other one? I don't know.
New one.
Yeah,
I think 3 times is a career ender.
Yeah, not good either way.
This is wild, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but they knew he'd had other season-ended injuries through college as well. He was a bit of a Darren Anderson, but that's very.
Well, I think I read. You might correct me if I'm wrong, but this is his 5th season-ending injury in 8 years of football.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, mad. And then all of us are on the Rams, and just you, Byron, on the Rico Dowdle-led Panthers on Monday Night Football. Keep pounding. Excellent. That is our NFL Week 12 preview in the books. Thanks for joining us. As always, make sure you go give us a follow. Good Teams Win Great Teams cover available on the podcast is available on, where is it? Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Overcast, anywhere else you like to get your podcasts, as well as the video version on YouTube. And you can catch us on X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, GTW_GTC. Last promo, last shout out. Go and watch our Union Jack Classic special. I sat down with the chairman and CEO. So basically the main guy who made it all happen to bring the college football game to London next year, Brian Dubisky, CEO and chairman. Great guy. Fantastic. Not fantastic interview, because that sounds like he's great, is what I'm trying to say. Go listen to him, find out all about this game, how it came to be, all the things we've got looking forward to, or to look forward to when the Arizona State Sun Devils and Kansas Jayhawks come to Wembley. So go support it, go watch that interview or listen to it. It's great. You'll find out so much stuff about it. And we've got more coming for the Union Jack Classic, some special stuff coming in the lead up to Christmas. I'll just leave that as a tease. But join us for our Fantasy Game Day 10-minute tips tomorrow. That episode is out on Saturday.